What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video. As you guys can see, and as promised yesterday, we did the Ace and Meme versus Arsenal recap. Y'all go check that out from outside day one. And here we are with the most requested battle I had to review from the outside day one drops, Nitty versus Saflare Soul. We're looking at the guy who's top six, in the head of the top six class, in my opinion, with this newest new talent class that URL has brought in. Amazing class, by the way. You guys let me know if you'd like to see maybe a video on, or I might just do a video on it. I really think that this class has so much talent and really stole the show overall from outside day one and day two. I've walked away talking about each of them. I don't believe any of them took a clear loss at that, and most of them had extremely impressive wins versus vets, or at least debatable battles. And this was one of the best battles of the weekend, so it's no wonder that you guys wanted me to review it. You have Nitty, his first battle since winning the Cody. Always down to give shots, especially to it's a high risk, low reward in terms of, maybe down the line, if Saflare was a bigger name, it matches up. But the fact that he's taking him right now, I believe Saflare's second battle, just goes to show that Nitty's always down for smoke. So overall, good matchup, a lot of good things to talk about here. And without further ado, let's hop right into the first round. So starting off on Saflare Souls first, he opens up with a flip on Nitty's ET slogan, tubes in him, keeping him alive, look like ET dying. So that was a cool opener. From there, he shows off the witty writing, which we'll talk about more as we get into, but I really love Soul's pen. A lot of witty in-between lines that build up points throughout the round. The positive on the inside, a fortune cookie. I got the power outside like a generator was a flip of Nitty's power in the volume screenshot bar. He did a lot of flips of his bars actually the first, but the generator bar was dope. Some jabs in here, the pill call bar, the Cornell. Bullets go through Cornell at no cost. It's a scholarship. So lands one of his first real big haymakers of the battle. Smack gonna have to pay the alien under the table. Dope. Comic book obituary, look like a comic book. All you're gonna see is Pow in the clouds. Powell being Nitty's last name, real life, and obviously Pow in the clouds. You also see the comic books. Who held Rum the best? His pallbearers. That was fire too. And then ends with the the tendonitis and potato sack race bar. So overall, a lot of jabs in the first. It's definitely Soul's weakest round, but as you can see, it's a really good amount of material in there. Two haymakers, in my opinion, with the Cornell scholarship and the pallbearers bar. And just good in-between writing to really give you a solid round overall. But then Nitty would go, starts out with the part that was clipped from his battle right when it happened originally, that 15 minutes of fame, and then posted the proud to say I'm a stockholder now. All y'all hear, the paramedics make it to him, call 911. All you hear is jazz in the background while it's going down. It sounds like elevator music. Jesus Christ. And then we've already seen your type before. We've already seen SoulCon before. The fans already know you by now. Know you're by now. Know you by now. So really off rip lands like just one of his best sequences of the battle, which just goes to show what Nitty's first would turn into. Y'all know the games tattoo. He's got a star on his face like the games tattoo, and it's a butterfly under it. That was fire. Peeling this bitch like Cosby until the stars removed. So a couple flips. It's always funny when Nitty's able to flip. He takes the star tattoo and gets a couple good bars off on it early. Now I want smoke with foots. All I can think about is murder, fire, I'll take blunt force to the whole company like Yak Man. Y'all remember them long-ass Yak Man intros. So Nitty's cooking this first half, and then when he hits the second half of the first, that's that next level of top tier can hit. You better go play with somebody else, Soul, like a Chucky doll. The Sold for 8, Blue Magic, Sold for 8, that was crazy. The inflatable tube guy bar probably is where I had him winning the round, waving in front of the company like the the inflatable tool guy. For those of y'all also that don't know too much about Saflare Soul, he called the group the company KMM. They refer to themselves as a few different names, you know what I'm saying? But the company is one of them, thus all the company flips. I did all my dirt by my lonely, so I thought I'd never be a Cody. Fire. And then as he hits the very end, he gets the Switch console. Never had my handheld was crazy, and the Chinese food scheme. So I named a lot of bars here, and as you can just tell, like I said, when Nitty hit that second half, the Chucky doll bar, the inflatable tool guy bar, even the Switch console, it had been an even round, and you get those 3 or 4 off at the end, 1 or 2 of them being a haymaker. That's how you create separation against even a solid round. So really good first round from both. As we're going to see, really great battle overall, and I like what Soul did in the first, but Nitty has probably his best round here, and I had him 1-0 clear going into the second. And then we enter the second round, which is really the talk of the town when it comes to this battle, because Saflare Soul really has just a highlight showing here. And he's a slow opener, leads up to a hardball bar, which I thought, like, it didn't fully miss, but he kind of, I believe, stumbled once on the setup of it. Just took a little bit to build up. And then from there, he gets to you know what happens if I keep my hands on the ropes too long? My palm fire. Was a flip on Nitty's off the ropes. And then we get into what the real special part of this round after that. So a couple bars in, it's not like he just bombs off those first four. And then you go into the engrave a puncher like Kimbo Slice. That was crazy. Charleston White Bar hit crazy. And then he said, "Are you an alien? Are you a U.S. citizen?" Because it's a special box for that. Talk about, you check off the form. That was crazy, man. That was like a super, like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, crazy haymaker. Extremely original on the alien flip, too. The Soak in Death, Whitney Houston. A lot of Whitney Houston bars, man. Whitney got it bad in this in this culture. But that was fire. Flip a quarter to make $1. I got a gambling habit. Strong arm, Angela Bassett. Couple with Down syndrome. I got special attachments. I mean, he's just hitting these pockets, man. So now you're seeing just that chain punching ability. Everything is landing like a 2 or a 3, which in my, I say that to say, like, either a really strong jab or a haymaker. That's kind of how what I judge it as. So that was crazy. A couple shots of easy to block captain in here as well, which I thought you're going to see. Takes a couple more as the battle goes on, too. I actually like his first one the most out of all of them. It's the one that kind of hit crazy. Maybe a little bit overshooting it easy, in my opinion, but they landed here, especially with the momentum. Fold and pal, it's laundry day, crazy. Ladder out the side, it's wheelchair friendly. The rounded out, estimate. I mean, Saflare Soul took off in this second. I mean, the performance is at 10 out of 10. The pen is doing work. It's just, these are the type of rounds that you look at a guy like this, and to me, it's a no-brainer that I think he's going to be top tier one day when he's able to put on showing. It's 3 great rounds, and then to have a highlight within that, it's just incredible. And then Nitty rebuttals the Kimbo Slice bar with a punch out of that box like Uma Thurman rebuttal. It might have been the best bar of the battle. I heard the Nitty had rebutted, but I didn't know he rebutted. You know what I'm saying? It lands in like a crazy rebuttal off rip. From there, he goes into the sitting in the bushes with the chop. It's like I'm trimming hedges. The get to step in with the Martin company, get to step in bar was fire. We get right back to acting bad. To be continued. 2B bars are oversaturated by now. It's kind of fucked up because this happened a minute ago. So when Nitty said this, probably didn't look as crazy. We've heard a million 2B bars by now, but decent either way. The scrub the ground bar was crazy, and then he hits his second haymaker of the round. He's talking about all these styles he's influenced, and he said something Soul Train. Go down the line. It was a Soul Train bar. I don't want to butcher the little middle part, but it was very fire. But from there, I will say Nitty definitely like speeds up the delivery and kind of like doesn't go too crazy for the end of his round. Purgatory bar was dope. Expedition up the desert like Oregon Trail was fire, and even the Air Force One Soul looked like a target. So he hits a couple other jabs I didn't mention, but the second half of his second is probably like the weakest segment of Nitty in this battle. Just not too much heavy landing, just little witty lines. And when you go in front of an explosive round like Soul second, you need a little bit more than jabbing your way to a victory. So as I had Nitty clearly taking the first round, shout out to his rebuttal, because to me, I heard that, I'm like, damn, this might be closer than the Soul Train bar, but I did have Saflare Soul clearly taking the second, leaving it as like a pretty easy to call 1-1 going into the third. And then we go back to Saflare Soul for the third round of the battle. The round this battle comes down to, and he starts off with his own rebuttal. Nitty had done a couple bars about his girl, who's apparently white, you know what I'm saying? And he does this gun is just like my girl. It's a German model. Rebuttal kind of missed. I saw what he was going for, and I actually salute him for attempting it. It's just not always going to land. You deal with that, but he gets right into his round. Playing the role of a father like Lil Meech. I like that. And then he gives me probably my favorite bar from Saflare Soul in this battle. They say you step on crack and it makes your mama... It'll break your mama's back. That shit ain't really happened to me. I stepped on crack and it put me and my mama back on our feet. very, 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 very good. Like extremely high quality haymaker. And it's something I want to say, and I've said it about this class a couple times. It's kind of like there's a lot of hybrids in here, and what I mean by that is back in through when I've watched battle rap, we usually have like pens and punchers, right? Guys that write creatively, and then the people that do more trap talk or even soulful street talking. I'm saying like think of a Calico, maybe early T top at that. They usually just kind of stick to that. It's rare that they have the pen to go with it. When you see it a lot of this new class, you with Foots, obviously here it's a Saflare. People debate that you could see it with Authentic and a couple other battlers here. Is they're able to combine both. Like he has the ability to land that bar crazy, but then also land the special box, really creative punchline. And I just feel like back in the day, writing and real talk were just so split, and it's like you either had to be one or the other. And to see a guy like this that clearly can reach like a 10 out of 10 level in both, that's what I'm saying about these more special talents. That as battle rap evolved, everybody's more well rounded. It's like how in basketball we got 7-foot people, what I'm saying, dribbling the ball and playing point guard now. It's the game evolves. So just a cool thing to think about. Rest of his third though, the Jiminy Cricket bug in my conscience was fire. I seen Thanos beat the Avengers. Why I never believed in public defenders. Continues just hitting creativity with the talk, man. Hits a little bit of a dry spot here in the third, and overall his third is like long as hell. I think his third is like 8 minutes to Nitty's 4, and his second was long too, but when you're hitting more efficiently, I feel like we're just not going to complain as much. As opposed here, I see the dries. He has an angle about Hustle that turned into an X-Files bar. Nitty used to be with Hustle. That was cool. This should have been Av, so you can get this alternate bar off. And then he had a segment about them both losing family members, which I think was like a cool concept. He just didn't really flesh it out into anything landing. Just kind of like he talked about it and then he left it. So that dry spot in the middle hurts the third a little for me, but then he gets back into it, fork in the water like Aquaman, and really just uses drug talk all the way to the end of his third. But it's good. The Hank Hill bar, I know what's best for Bobby, the Fun Dip bar. So that second half, a lot of drug talk, like I said, in the second half. And then one more shot at Easy. It would be easy to be the face of a league of bitches. And by then, it hit. It was like the third or fourth Easy shot. It was a little much, but great round overall. And then Nitty has a much shorter round, but really compact with a lot of great stuff. Starts out with this crazy Baton Rouge bar that hits wild. Crash Bandicoot bar, Soul coming out the block. You could even did the little ooh, we did a little sound for Crash Bandicoot. Knock him out. His bull ring, he's got a septum pierce. That's what that's called. It's not called a bull ring. But for the bars, that bull ring will knock back and forth. It looks like I'm knocking on a castle door. That is crazy creative. The De La Soul bar, the Demigorgon Little Stranger Things bar was crazy. It looked like clear cookies, but you don't know my history. So Nitty's like rapping a lot faster pace in this third, but I feel like he's really hitting at a quick rate and hitting, what I'm saying, the Baton Rouge bar, the Castle Door bar, some of the more like creative concepts I think he threw out in the battle. And along with those creative concepts, he's hitting a lot of different flow pockets here. Like he is rapping fast, but he's rapping with a cadence and pace that is going to make it, phonically good. Shot off the porch like a Ring camera. Thought that was fire. The work miscomp was fire too. A bar that someone said that night. We had seen JC and Klutz ahead of time, but he said, dudes do the 6'9" point like Magic Johnson, which was crazy, and it's still a pretty and it is a close round. To me, this is a debatable third, but there's this little segment he has here at the end that to me is just special, and it's this triple entendre he breaks down when he says, it looks like it's sewing it. You can see the difference in the pen, like when we sewing it. I butchered it a little bit, but he performed it, extremely smooth. It was a clear triple that he broke down the 3 references for, and for me, that was just an extremely impressive just feat of writing. I think Nitty's always been a good writer in terms of creativity, but you're seeing more and more him going more towards the pen side. Like, we always said Nitty's a pure puncher, and he has been for most of his career, but I think you see battles like this and battles versus Bill, a couple other battles with Flow Pockets Fonz, and he's really borderline in that pen category. I know that's something he said he really wanted to really put out there is I am a pen in 2023. And then he gets the Wisdom 16 in a row. Wisdom teeth growing in bar was crazy. Very, very close third in my opinion. You know, when one guy wraps double the length of time, you could say that Saflare Soul has more, like you could write down more bars from obviously, but the efficiency has to speak to that in my opinion. And for Nitty to have half the size of the round and for it to be like razor close, I mean, inherently I'm going to look at it a little like, damn, Nitty really did damage in that 4 minutes, right? But I have absolutely no problem anyone going to Flair Soul in the third. Like I said, the subs, a lot of that drug talk and stuff more than what Nitty did, obviously. So there's some preferential thoughts there. But for me personally, that sewing it triple at the end was just enough for me to edge it to Nitty. Just thought that he was extremely efficient with the time he used, and all the bars I wrote down, it pretty much makes up most of his round. So I personally gave Nitty the first clear and edged Nitty the third in an extremely debatable battle where I think you could easily have Saflare Soul 2-1. I think it's a great look for both of them. Obviously, humongous look for Saflare Soul. This man's first 2 battles are a clear win versus Chess and a debatable versus Rum Nitty. That is how he's game ready. That's the best way I can put a lot of guys in battle. Mid tiers work their way up. This guy's battling top tiers. He is ready to keep doing that. I hope that after this battle, we are seeing something. I've thrown T-Top out there. I thought would be a good matchup. But overall, even if it's Danny Myers, just another top-tier op to continue, you know, his progression. But while I had personally had Nitty, like I said, first and third, we'll see where he goes from here for the rest of the year. I am expecting him to be on Gnome Impact. Video will be coming about Gnome Impact eventually. I'm not the biggest fan of 2-on-2s, and we'll get more into that. Some of you guys probably already know that. We'll get more into that when we actually talk about Gnome Impact in its video, probably when the full card is really dropped. But hoping that Nitty does get, we're still looking for some big plates to end the year. You know, we don't know if it's going to be a Mook or a Daylight, but we do want to see him in a big spot, hopefully on SM, you know, something of that nature. But it's a great first battle for him. Well, he also had op, I believe, before this. But first, you know, 3-round major league battle, major league look. And like I said, net positive for both gentlemen. But you guys let me know down in the comments down below. What did you guys think about this battle? Who did you have winning? And who do you want to see Saflare Soul battle next? It's a question I really want to know from you guys. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.